Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel. Have you ever wondered why, even on what seems like a perfect day, something still feels off? Well, the late Venerable Amatha Gavesi from Sri Lanka, one of the most practical Buddhist teachers of our time, had a fascinating answer. He used to say that we live in a world designed to deceive us into thinking we can make it perfect. Today, let's explore his simplest yet most profound teaching about suffering, and I'll give you one practical exercise you can try right after this video. Now, when we talk about suffering, or what the Buddha called dukkha, we're not just talking about obvious pain. The Buddha, in his very first teaching, listed specific types of suffering: birth, aging, sickness, death, separation from loved ones, being stuck with people we don't like, and not getting what we want. But here's where Venerable Amatha Gavesi made it really clear for us. He said, "Behind every item on that list is a mistake. We mistake changing events for something we can own." Think about that for a moment. Venerable Gavesi liked to point to what Buddhism calls the 5 aggregates, or as he put it, 5 heaps. These are your body, your feelings, your perceptions, your mental formations, and your consciousness. Now, this might sound complicated, but Gavesi explained it simply. He'd say, together, these 5 heaps build a make-believe person who then claims, "My back pain, my breakup, my problems." But here's the thing he really wanted us to understand. Is there really a solid person experiencing these things? Or is it just a collection of changing processes? He always encouraged us to think for ourselves, not just believe because someone said so. This connects directly to what the Buddha called the 4 Noble Truths. Think of it as a simple cycle. First truth: stress and dissatisfaction exist in life. Second truth: this stress comes from our craving, our constant wanting things to be different. Third truth: when we let go of that craving, the stress stops. And fourth truth: there's a practical path to achieve this, called the Noble Eightfold Path. Venerable Gavesi taught that most of our suffering isn't from what happens to us, but from this imaginary person we've created in our minds who claims ownership of everything that happens. Let me give you a real-life example that Gavesi might have used. Imagine you're stuck in traffic. What happens? First, there's irritation. That's just a feeling arising. Then your mind creates the story. I must get home on time. This is ruining my day. Why does this always happen to me? Notice that me part? That's the imaginary person taking ownership. You start honking, getting angry, creating stress. But Venerable Gavesi taught a simple practice for moments like this. First, spot the feeling. Irritation is present. Second, label it as just cause and effect, not personal. This is just sensation plus thought, nothing more. Third, relax your breath and let your hand rest instead of honking. The result? Your car is still stuck, but your suffering drops by at least 50%. Here's a 60-second exercise you can try today, inspired by Venerable Gavesi's teachings. Choose any small discomfort you encounter, maybe slow internet, a long queue, or even a minor headache. When it happens, pause. First, locate which of the 5 aggregates is involved. Usually, it's a feeling. Then, say silently to yourself, "This is not mine, not me, just an aggregate doing its thing." Finally, take a deep breath and watch as your urge to react begins to fade. Try this at least 3 times today and notice what changes. Venerable Gavesi always said that liberation starts with seeing suffering clearly, not running from it. The beautiful thing about Venerable Amatha Gavesi's teaching is that he made ancient wisdom practical for everyday life. He taught that the person we think we are, the one who suffers, is like a magic trick created by our own consciousness. When we see through this trick, we don't become emotionless robots. We become free. Next week, we'll explore the second noble truth, the cause of suffering, and how Gavesi explained it using something as simple as our morning coffee cravings. Until then, Practice that 60-second exercise. Share your experiences in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more practical wisdom. Remember, as Venerable Gavesi always said, don't just believe me because I said so. Think for yourself and see if it's true.